What I'm going to discuss today is the most important part of the whole MBA application process. That's your MBA admission essays. So hi everyone, my name is Rohit Jha, and in this video I'm going to talk about what exactly these admission committees are looking for when they scan through these essays. So we are going to go through with this video in 4 basic steps. Number 1 would be the objective of these essays. Number 2, how many essays you have to write on an average, or the word limit and some other questions related to that. Number 3 is what do they generally ask in these questions? What are the areas they focus on? And number 4 and the last one is how do they assess you or judge you based on what you have written. So let's talk about the first one. What's the objective of these essays? So you have already given them a professional resume and a cover letter. So they have your educational background, your experience and everything mentioned in that resume. Now through these essays, they just want to go beyond your resume. When I say they want to go beyond your resume, they want to understand you as a person, as an individual, your contribution towards the society, towards your people, towards your organization, and the impact that you have created. And how you're going to show this impact? Through your real stories, through your real incidents. So that's what the objective of these admission essays, to assess you as a person. Now, this leads to the next question. How many essays you have to write, or what's the word limit? So on an average for most of the global B schools, you have to write from 2 to 4 essays and depending on, of course, region and the business school, but 2 to 4 is generally the average. And in that you have to write from 300 to 500 words. This is the word limit generally. And never actually exceed the word limit. Just focus on that. I'll come to that in the 4th step. Now third and the most important part is what do they generally ask? Now this is a very common question and you get a lot of information, but in this video I've just cut down into 3 major elements. So the number 1 area where they focus is about the MBA program. So why do you want to do this program, or what's your future goal, short term, long term, what's your future planning post MBA? All these questions, they are going to revolve around your MBA planning. Number 2, they're going to focus on your leadership and your personality. So when I say personality, they're going to touch upon a few of your behavioral aspects or emotional intelligence, and they want to see your leadership styles in different situations. So they're going to ask you questions in such a way that you have to tell them, for example, your leadership style based on what you have done in the past. They might ask you some real stories. Third and the most important part is the contribution. Your contribution, your achievements, your initiatives and suggestions for your organization, for your teams, for your manager or your stakeholders or your clients or your community, or maybe in some other extracurricular areas, be it sports or any other activity you have been involved. So they want to see how well you have contributed in all these areas and what impact you have created. So just focus on that, focus on the impact. Now the 4th and the last part is how do they assess. So let's say now you have submitted your application. Now before that, just focus on how do they assess so that you can craft your admission essays accordingly. So let me just first talk about some of the basic stuff. Let's talk about the language. So you need to have a basic English language understanding, sentence construction, English usage. It should be grammatically perfect. You can use Grammarly or any other tool for that. But now if you see that you don't have an outstanding English, or you don't use a lot of catchy vocabulary or something like that, so you don't have to worry about that. If you have it, of course, that's great, but if you don't have, it is not really important. The important part is you should have a basic language understanding and the flow of ideas should be excellent. So that's the important part. Number 2 is the word limit. You should never exceed the word limit, whatever they have prescribed, 300, 500 or 400 word limits, unless they mention that you can exceed it by, some couple of words, 50 or 100, or it could be anything. Unless they mention, don't do that. Now, third and very important is the structure of your essay, the paragraph breaks, the flow of ideas, and more importantly, the examples that you add in your essay. So whatever you say, whatever experience you are sharing, share it with some real-time stories, with some real-time examples from your own background. that is going to actually create an impact on the admission committee and your applications. Another important point is when they assess your application, they're looking for some serious and genuine stories. So focus on that only. You don't have to make up or you don't have to lie. You just need to introspect yourself and see how well one incident can be connected to the whole story or can be connected to whatever they are looking for. So remember, they are not looking for perfect essays. They are looking for genuine essays, and that's what you should focus on. So let's, for example, even if you have 3 or 4 years of experience, but you really have some powerful achievements or initiatives which you took within your organization or maybe around your community, so definitely you will have a very good chance if you express yourself very well in the application. Now, as compared to someone, let's say, who has got around 8 years of experience or 9 years of experience, but not really so much of achievements to talk about in those applications, so definitely the chances are pretty low. And of course there are other factors, but just to compare, even people are a bit confused that, I have only 3 years of experience, so what are my chances of selection? So my point is, even if you have 3 years, 4 years or 5 years, it all depends what you have done in those 3 years and how you express that in your admission essays. That is going to create an impact. So focus on the word impact or the result. That's what they are looking for. So that's it for this video. Let me just quickly recap what we have discussed. Number 1 is the objective of these admission essays. Number 2, how many essays you have to write or the word limit for these essays. Number 3 is what do they generally ask in these essays, what are the areas they focus. And number 4 is how do they assess you based on these essays. So that's it for this video, and do follow our blog for more detailed answers, and I'm going to come up with separate videos on each and every question of these admission essays. So we'll cover everything, you don't have to worry. We'll cover all the short-term goals, long-term goals, and all the questions what I had said in these in the third section, what do they generally ask. So thank you so much. Do like, share and comment, and just give us the feedback so that we can improve. So take care and bye-bye.